In this video, I'm going to show you how to import brushes into Photopea. Step 1 is going to be open the Snapchat template from your computer. And now let's learn about the brushes. You are going to click on the brush here, and there's the little triangle next to the circle. And then if you look right over here, there's another triangle that you're going to click, and you're going to load the .abr file. Before you do this, though, you need to select your brushes. So in the file I linked in the template, you're just going to click on one of these that you enjoy and download it. Once it's downloaded, you're going to go back to Photopea and follow the same steps. Brush, circle, triangle, load ABR. In your downloads, find the file name, double click it, and hit OK. Now, what you'll see at the bottom of this menu, if I scroll down, are the brushes from that file. So I'm just going to show you on a new layer what that looks like. Now when you click one of these and you see the number underneath it, 2500, that is how large this is in reference to pixels. Okay, so 2500 is a good size for us. It fits this, but it's pretty big. So what you can do is make this smaller by changing the number. So if I delete the 2, what you'll notice is that it got really small. Now the cool thing about your brushes is you can, no matter what orientation, you can change it later. So I'm going to make a new layer because I just did the white layer just to block the background. And I'm going to make a new layer so that it's independent of the white, and I'm going to click. All I do is click like a stamp. And now I can free transform this. So remember, free transform is up in your edit menu, and then you can do free transform by doing Alt-Control-T, not just Control-T. And now I can rotate it around. So if I want it going up the side, or if I want it going across the top. And even though I stamped it at that larger size, I can make it smaller. Remember to press and hold Shift as you drag in the corners to lock in the proportions. And just hit Return or Enter when you're done and move it up to where you want it to go. Hey guys, we're going to learn how to download and import brushes into Photoshop. It is actually really simple. So find the ABR file that you like, double click it, and hit download. Once it downloads, you'll see it in your downloads bar. However, Firefox is a little different. So I'm going to go to my downloads folder, and then you'll see the ABR file. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually click it, and it will open up automatically in Photoshop. Now I have an older version of Photoshop installed on my computer, so that's the one it's defaulting to. It's not accessing the clouds programs that I have, but either way it's the same. So that's why the program that's opening right now you're seeing as white, because it's Photoshop CS5, which is actually older than the version we even have at school. But it all works the same way. So now it actually imported the brushes in for me. I didn't have to do a single thing, but let me show you where they are. So I'm just going to open up a random new document, and I have a black brush selected. Or black color selected, excuse me, and I'm going to click on the brushes, and right here you have your menu of brushes, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Now this is my personal Photoshop, so you'll see actually a ton of brushes that I've downloaded and I use all the time, but your brushes will import way at the bottom. So you just scroll all the way down, and that is where your new brushes will go. So you can see all the different sets that I have downloaded over the years, but yours will always be applied at the very bottom. So I'm just going to click one just to show you. Now, the trouble is this menu stays open, and if I click outside here, then it will actually stamp it. Now, I can always hit undo, but what you want to do is when you're in this menu, in order to eliminate that problem, is just click up here into that top menu, and then I can click and stamp it, and then I can click and stamp it. Now, what you want to make sure before you get crazy is that you're not on a layer. So I'm going to make a new layer that has a transparent background, so that way when I stamp it, I can transform it and rotate it and scale it to whatever size I need. Now, before you even stamp it, you can change the size. So this brush right here that I picked is 2500 pixels. They all are pretty much at 2500. That's a default when people make them. I cannot increase the size because then it gets blurry, but I can always decrease. I'm just going to delete the 2 to go to 500, and you will see how much smaller it gets. So that is the other way to do it, but the orientation, if I still want to change it, Control T to free transform and rotate around. Now these are all on the same layer, that's why they're working together. If I wanted to manipulate them individually, then I would need to keep them on separate layers. But that is how you download and open and use brushes in Photoshop.